Good evening. You are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. Sultan Qaboos Academy for Police Sciences celebrates graduation of 2 new batches of cadet officers and new brigades of recruits. Entrepreneurship Award lands in the governorates of Al Buraimi and South Sharqiya to introduce the award and support SMEs. And a bomb explodes next to the governor's office in Aden in Yemen as Houthi rebels pound an area in the southern province of Taiz. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has received a cable of thanks from His Excellency President Saki Agin El Begrodorj of Mongolia in reply to His Majesty's cable of greetings on his country's National Day. His Majesty the Sultan also received a cable of thanks from His Excellency President Alexander Lukashenko of Belarus in reply to His Majesty's cable of greetings on his country's independence anniversary. Royal Oman Police held a ceremony in the military parade ground in Sultan Qaboos Academy for Police Sciences to graduate the 35th batch of specialized university graduate cadet officers and the 64th batch of new brigades of recruits. The ceremony was held under the patronage of Major General Ahmed bin Ali Kshub, Secretary General of National Security Council in the Royal Office. The celebration started by the arrival of the chief guest, and the graduates performed a military salute. Then he inspected the front row of the column. After that, the graduates performed a show with slow march accompanied by Royal Oman police music. Then the chief guest handed over appreciation prizes to the toppers. After that, the graduates chanted Nasheed Humat al-Haq and cheered thrice, proclaiming allegiance and loyalty to His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, Supreme Commander. Then the graduates performed a military salute to the chief guest, and the commander of the column moved forward to take permission to leave the parade ground, and the column marched before the main days with normal march. Conditions and mechanism of Entrepreneurship Award topped the discussion of the awareness session for male and female entrepreneurs in the governorate of Al Buraimi. The award seeks to uplift small and medium-sized enterprises to diversify economy, depending on knowledge and innovation. The participants in the session, which was organized by the Public Authority for Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises Development, RIADA, familiarized with the time plan of the competition, in addition to the types of awards and evaluation means. An awareness workshop for entrepreneurs was held in the Wilaya of Sur. It came to discuss the goals of RIADA Award that encourages the small and medium-sized enterprises to contribute in the development of the national economy. The workshop also stressed on the significance of the youth capabilities, in addition to motivate the Omani youth to work on the management of their private projects. In Yemen, a bomb exploded next to the governor's office in Aden and killed 4 people today, witnesses said, as Daesh militants claimed responsibility for a deadly raid on a Yemeni military post near the Saudi border. No one claimed responsibility for the blast in Aden. Houthi rebels bounded an area in the southern province of Taiz shortly after the start of a humanitarian truce declared by the Saudi-led coalition. The rebels shelled residential areas in Jebel Sabr, according to officials and residents in the capital Sana'a and in central Yemen. However, the ceasefire appeared to hold. Arab airstrikes hit targets throughout northern governorates of Yemen today, local officials said, as the front lines approach Houthi strongholds there. The attacks hit 5 provinces controlled by the Houthis and the military airport in Sana'a amid rapid advances by the Yemeni troops. In Egypt, a massive car bomb claimed by militants ripped into a national security building in a residential neighborhood in Cairo early today, wounding at least 29 people and blowing the facades off nearby buildings. The blast, which went off around 2 a.m., demolished a wall in front of the government building, smashed its structure, and left gaping holes exposing its offices. Of those hurt, 11 were police soldiers. No deaths were reported. Syrian government forces continued their advance in Sahl al-Ghab, Hama suburb. The Syrian army recaptured 4 northwestern villages as they pounded the area with airstrikes in a counterattack and on insurgents threatening government strongholds. At least 16 people, including 2 children, were killed when rebels shelled many districts of the Syrian capital overnight yesterday. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said another 79 people were wounded in the bombardment by rebel brigade. Observatory director said more than a dozen areas of Damascus had been targeted, including the upscale western Mezza district and central Abu Rommani. Turkey's election commission has proposed that any snap parliamentary election should be held on November the 1st. Officials of the ruling AK party said today, reinforcing the sense that a revote is inevitable after June's poll yielded no working majority. Meanwhile, Turkey's parliament authorized the government to launch military action within Iraq and Syria, 2 conflict-racked neighborhoods whose wars are threatening regional stability. Tensions along Turkey's borders with both states have been rising, particularly since Daesh group has taken over large swaths of territory in the neighboring countries, including crossing points. Turkish warplanes struck targets of the Kurdistan Workers' Party in northern Iraq and in southeast Turkey overnight in a new wave of air raids against the Kurdish militant group. South Korean President Park Geun-hye presided over a National Security Council meeting today after the North fired a projectile towards South Korea. South Korea said it fired tens of artillery rounds towards North Korea today after the North launched a shell towards a South Korean loudspeaker that had been blaring anti-Pyongyang broadcasts as tension escalated on the peninsula. North Korea did not fire back, but later warned Seoul in a letter that it would take military action if the South did not remove the loudspeakers within 48 hours. South Korean president told top defense officials to react firmly to North Korean provocations. South Korea's military raised its alert status to the highest level. The suspected North Korean shell landed in an area about 60 kilometers north of Seoul in the western part of the border zone. Still to come in our news bulletin. Salalah Kharif Festival in the Governorate of Dhofar continues with various activities. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. His Excellency Sayyid Mohammed bin Sultan Al Busaidi, Minister of State and Governor of Dhofar, received heads of delegations participating in the 10th GCC Forum for the Blind, which was organized by Al Noor Association for the Blind. His Excellency hailed the association's role in dealing with the blind's problems and needs, besides highlighting their activities in various regional and international forums. He also highlighted the efforts of the Sultanate's government in raising awareness of the blind's role and their importance in building the society. On their turn, the heads of the delegations expressed their utmost thanks and gratitude for the warm welcome and generous hospitality extended to them in the Governorate of Dhofar. They also valued the support of the Minister of State and Governor of Dhofar for the Blinds, affirming that this forum was provided with all the reasons of success. The number of visitors to the Sultanate's pavilion in Expo Milano exceeded 2 million yesterday due to the high turnout witnessed by the pavilion during the past period. Joseph Teschler from Austria, who visited the Omani pavilion, expressed his joy for being the visitor that crossed the 2 million mark. He said that the pavilion has been beyond his expectations. The administrative team explained to the visitor the philosophy of the pavilion's design and the ideas invented by Omanis to deal with the challenges they face. They also explained the use of sundial and sea traditions. After a number of events, activities, awarenesses, social programs and work camps for the youth of the Governorate of Musandam, Social Youth Week concluded its events with a wide participation. It stressed on the awareness of Omani youth in serving the society as one team. The 5-day Social Week for youth included a number of cultural and social programs, site visits, health lectures and exhibitions. A poetic night was organized in the Wilaya of Suwaiq in the Governorate of North Batna, among wide participation of citizens from various wilayas of the Sultanate. 5 poets from the Wilaya of Suwaiq took part in the poetic night, which embodied nationalism and love for the builder of the Omani Renaissance. The poets also highlighted religious issues, lamentation and national occasions. Omani natural scenes, history and civilization features embodied in the 10th annual competition held by Omani Photography Society. The photographers participated in the competition showcased in an exhibition titled Renaissance Day. The inauguration of the exhibition was presided over by His Excellency Habib bin Muhammad al-Riyami, Secretary General of Sultan Qaboos Center for Culture and Science. The exhibition will be open for the public until the 31st of this month. An endurance race for thoroughbred horses was organized as part of the Salala Kharif Festival. Here is a report by Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rabi'i.
Oman Equestrian Federation and Salala Kharif Festival organizing team have organized the Endurance Challenge in collaboration with the Ministry of Sports, Office of His Excellency the Minister of State and Governor of Dhofar, and private establishment. The event was held under the auspices of Salim bin Salim bin Ali Qatan, head of the National Defense College, in the presence of Sayyid Mundhir bin Saif al-Busaidi, Oman Equestrian Federation Chairman Board of Directors. 22 Arabian thoroughbred horses represented by riders from various governorates participated in the 80-kilometer race that consisted of 3 loops. The loops were divided into 3. The first and second covers 30 kilometers each, and the third one 20 kilometers. In the race, riders have to plot through various terrains, undulating slopes and sandy areas in the subtropical cool air that is witnessed here in Salala. Strategic points seen with flags to guide the riders for looping distance and direction. Along the trails, designated water points providing drinking water for cooling were available. As it can be seen here, this is one of the mandatory rest points that the horse keepers splash cool water over a horse's neck. Through the course, riders are required to go through compulsory stops after each loop called vet gate, as seen here. The riders continued their second and third loops, which witnessed number of horses being removed as they were not medically fit.
Usual, we have a ride. We start at 11:20 with 22 horses, and we run in first loop at 30 kilometers, and we came back to the village, and we have a rest time for 20 minutes. After that, or before 20 minutes, we have to inspect the horse by the vets, and we inspect the horse. All horses we already inspected, and most of them is passed. We have 3 failed until now.
The remaining continued and finally completed the race. And The prizes for the winners were then distributed. Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubi'i, Sultanate of Oman Television, Salalah Governorate of Dhofar.
Now for the general weather forecast. Cloudy skies will prevail over the coastal areas and the nearby mountains of the Governorate of Dhofar, with chances of intermittent drizzle. Rest of the Sultanate will have clear to partly cloudy skies with chances of cloud accumulation and scattered rainfall over the Hajar Mountains and the nearby areas. Winds will be southwesterly moderate to active along the coasts of Arabian Sea, while it will be southeasterly light to moderate along the rest of the Sultanate. Seas along the coasts of Arabian Sea will be rough with a maximum wave height of 3.5 meters, and for the rest of the coasts it will be slight to moderate with a maximum wave height of 1.5 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman Television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. Sultan Qaboos Academy for Police Sciences celebrates graduation of 2 new batches of cadet officers and new brigades of recruits. Entrepreneurship Award lands in the governorates of Al Buraimi and South Sharqiya to introduce the award and support SMEs. And a bomb explodes next to the governor's office in Aden in Yemen as Houthi rebels pound an area in the southern province of Taiz. With that, we come to the end of tonight's bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, have a great weekend. Good night.